Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and what we're going to be looking at today is the site of my next moment of lunacy. I do tend to keep things fairly sensible, but once in a while I do some crazy things, and this is definitely one of them. We're going to see what happens. I've been moving some of my larger fruit trees around that are really in a semi-permanent position, but I put them in these large fabric pots so that I hopefully would be able to grow them in here for a few years. But I've been having a shift around today because I had a very daft idea, and I'm just starting to clear the ground here. I've moved the ceramic tiles there that I had on the ground that I was standing the fabric pots on. That's in a hope of discouraging from rooting them into the ground too early. But I've realised that I've got a space here that would be absolutely perfect for a suitable moment of lunacy. So I'm starting to try and dig it over. The soil's very heavy here, there's a lot of clay in it. It was rotavated when I cleared the garden, but there's a lot of things that, most of my planting I've done in raised borders so I could put fresh soil, topsoil in, because this ground soil is actually not easy to plant things in, and they don't do that well in it. But basically I'm going to clear that area and dig a suitable hole. I may have to amend the soil to make it more workable, it remains to be seen. And the reason for that lunacy is this plant here that's looking very sickly, and this is a seedling white sapote. It's not a grafted plant. Well, one assumes it's not a name variety. It looks like it originated in Holland. Don't know if it hasn't got the plant passport, it just says white sapote, but I believe it's a Dutch supplied plant. Oh, wait a minute, if I remember rightly, oh yes, here we are, plant passport, originated in the Netherlands. No mention of name varieties. Now, it is possible to air layer these, I believe, but I'm thinking this is probably just a seed growing plant. As you can see, it's pretty sickly, it's very pot bound. But I'm going to plant this white sapote in the ground, and that is probably tantamount to lunacy. They're certainly no hardier than citrus. I would think they're slightly less hardy than citrus, but it's a spare plant, and obviously it's not doing well in the pot. I'd have to up pot it to a much larger pot, and I have got 3 grafted white sapote name varieties growing in pots, which I'm quite happy with how they're doing. So I thought, why not use this as an experiment to see if it could survive potentially in the ground here. Now, I'm not starting with a particularly healthy plant, so that's not ideal, but I know it's going to be very pot bound, and I don't think the soil's any better that it's in than I've got in my garden. To be honest, it looks like a very heavy sort of clay soil, so I'm going to amend the soil a bit and put some sand and topsoil in. I'm not going to put any organic matter because I don't want to encourage it to get root rot, and obviously if this survives being planted in the ground initially, i.e. for the first 2 or 3 months, come winter I will have to build some kind of protective shelter around it, cover it with a few layers of fleece, because this won't survive a normal winter outside here. We'd have to have an incredibly mild winter. But I figured if it survives the potting, that I'm starting with a pretty substantial plant in terms of the fact that it's got a nice thick stem that is woody at the bottom, which means that's going to increase its toughness a little bit. I still think there's 0 chance of it surviving, but if I could get it going in the ground for a year or 2, then there's a possibility that I could graft something onto it. Now, it's got this really poor growth pattern, so I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I might leave the top shoot, which is fairly straight, just so it's got some leaves on it for energy, but these other silly ones that are curving over like this are no use at all. So what I'm going to do is pause the video, carry on prepping the ground and then get it planted and let you have a look at it in ground. And the reason I've chosen there is because it's a sort of partially sunny, partially shaded location. It's west facing. It has got the shelter of the fence behind it and the fence on the side, so that's a slightly, I hope, more protected corner of the garden. As you know, my cherry guava has managed to survive in ground just next to that area, although it has died back completely to the ground in a cold winter. But we're going to see what happens and give it a go for people's interest. So I'll see you in the second part of the video. Okay, so welcome back to part 2 of the video. Let's have a walk in here. Let's see if I can show you what I've done. Now, what I've attempted to do, I'm not sure if it's going to be easy to see, is I have actually planted it above grade, i.e. on a bit of a mound. I suppose it's possibly about 12 inches, 30 centimetres above ground. Let's go a bit lower, maybe we can give you some idea. Obviously the downside of doing that is every time it rains the compost like to be washed away. I haven't got anything around it to retain the compost in place, but I'm wondering if I might put the tiles on the lower part of the mound just to stop the soil washing away too quickly. I have given it a good watering. I've also trimmed the top as I planned to do, because these are a bit weird how these branches are bending out. The thing's got a bend to the left, a bit of a bend to the left. I think I might just straighten up a little bit, to be honest. Yeah, that's better. Get it a little bit straighter and tap it down. That's a bit straighter, and of course these branches bend over to the side. But now I've cut these off, if any shoots come out, I'm expecting them to grow a little bit more normal tree direction. We'll see what happens. But that's what I've done. Let me move back a bit further. It's a bit waterlogged here because I've been doing a lot of watering. That's the location. It is roughly where I had one of the jujubes standing in a pot, close enough to the fence to give it some protection. But it will get sun on it for probably half the day, and we'll see if it survives being planted and see how it progresses from there. So that's my mad experiment of what I suppose they planted in ground. Hope you found that interesting. Now obviously appreciate me giving you a thumbs up, and obviously you can share the video if you think someone would be interested, but more importantly, if you want to see how it gets on, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you get updates on new videos when they come out. And I will probably sometime in August, if it's showing any signs of growth, do an update video on it so you can see how it's getting on. Thanks for watching the video, much appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next video. Brett out for now.